Welcome to the video, and today I'm going to be sharing with you some of my favourite books, podcasts and YouTube channels. I draw such a lot of motivation and inspiration out of various people that are doing some amazing things across all of these platforms, and I thought, why not share them with you? I do listen, read and watch such a lot, and it really does give me a lot of valuable information that I try and implement in my life, whether that be through fitness, creativity or just some general life tips. So today, stick with me because I'm going to be sharing with you my favourite book, podcast and YouTube channel of the moment. And if this goes down well, I'd love to repeat it maybe in 3 months' time and create a mini-series so that I'm constantly topping it up with fresh information. If there's anything you can recommend to me along these lines, I'd love to hear it. So do drop me a comment below and give me your recommendations. But let's get started, and I'm going to start with my favourite book.
Because you don't know who you're going to meet.
So up first is my book recommendation of 2020. Now, for me, it has to be 25 Hours a Day by Nick Bare. I've been waiting for this one for a while. I follow Nick on his YouTube channel and his podcast, which I often listen to when I'm out on the run, so you can check those out as well. But in terms of the book itself, it's basically a collection of his life experiences and how he's achieved success in business and in fitness, basically through a really strong mindset and changing the way that you look at things. I think it will provoke you to think about the way you think of things, and I think they're quite simple takeaways but actually really useful. For me personally, I love being productive. It just gives me such a buzz. I love creating videos, taking photos, getting out there, getting things done, moving further towards things in my career that I want to do, or achieving something like a triathlon. He certainly inspired me to sign up for this triathlon I'm doing this year, because one of his stories in the book and in his story on YouTube has been completing an Ironman, and going forwards I think he's going to do some other slightly crazy challenges that I might not be taking part in, but nonetheless they're really inspiring to read about. He talks about going one more, going all in, simple messages like that. They're mindset messages that if you apply them to things you want to achieve or I want to achieve, I think they can be really powerful. And sometimes you just need a little reminder of that, because I think it's easy to get caught up in life and all the busyness that goes on. But things like the chapter on winning the day can just help you put some practical things into place to make the most out of each day, because I think time can run away with you without you achieving much if you let everything get in the way. And there's so much I want to do, so I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you do too. If you do pick up a copy, you can either pick up, I guess, the hard copy, and I think there's an Audible version as well, which I might grab too, so I can listen to it in the car. But if you do enjoy it, drop me a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think, and obviously you can go check them out on social media as well. And that's my book recommendation.
Have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that, because you don't know who you're going to meet.
I'm out here on a walk to talk to you about my favourite podcast. My favourite podcast of the moment in January 2020 is the Whoop podcast. It's hosted by Will Ahmed, who I believe is the founder of the Whoop Band. Now, just to give you a little background, the Whoop Band is basically an activity tracker, and it concentrates on tracking your stats around recovery. So it has basically been made to help you measure how well you're recovered and how much you should be training and how well you're sleeping and eating, etc. Really interesting. I don't have one of them myself, but even the podcast alone is really fantastic. He introduces and talks to a variety of guests across the board. Some of them are based on business and some of them are based on fitness. It just depends on the person, but ultimately they're all talking about how they can enhance their human performance by making sure their recovery is on point. Everyone has some great stories, and it's really interesting to try and pick up on a couple of tips and tricks that might help me to enhance my rest and recovery, because it's something I need to work on. Now, I've just picked out a few, just if you wanted to go over there and get started, I picked out three of my favourites that I've listened to. So I'll go up first is their most recent one, which was with Mark Randolph, who was the co-founder of Netflix. He predominantly talks about the rise of Netflix and where it all started, and I didn't actually know the story at all, so if for that alone, it's really interesting to hear about that. And he talks about how he incorporates fitness and more recently, later in his life, his recovery to enable him to train as he gets a bit older. And obviously he's got a busy life, and there's some great details in there about how he packs it all in. Number 2 would be Kate Courtney. She is an American mountain biker, a world champion mountain biker. Absolutely nails her training, but it talks all about how she uses rest and recovery, nutrition and sleep to enhance her performance. She's got some really, really interesting facts to talk about, and I particularly liked her little bit about power napping, something I would love to introduce into my lifestyle and make the time for. And up last but not least is probably one of my favourite actually. It was by, I will try and pronounce this right, Pierre Henry, not sure. He's French. He's a French fighter pilot, or was a French fighter pilot, and he obviously had a very stressful job, high pressure, high adrenaline, and he talked about how he used the data from his recovery to make sure that he was super alert when he was going up in the plane, and how he built a routine around peaking and then recovering with some downtime, his nutrition and his general sort of fitness and life routine, and how he fitted it all in. I think you'll really enjoy that one. There's loads of other good ones as well. So if I could recommend a podcast this month, it would be the Whoop podcast. Go check it out, and I'll put the link in the description below. So up last but not least is my recommendation for a YouTube channel. A difficult decision because I follow some incredible creators in this department, but I wanted to hit one that helps with my creativity, and that is Peter McKinnon. He's quite a household name on YouTube, but if you're not in the YouTube space, just give him a Google, he'll pop up straight away. He's a photographer and a cinematographer, and he takes some incredible footage. He splits up his channel into kind of educational videos, so you'll pick up some fantastic tips and tricks about creating photos and videos, especially in some of his earlier videos, and I think you'll find them really, really useful if you're looking to do that. But he is such a ball of energy, and he's a great entertainer, so even if you just want to go over there for entertainment value, I think you will find it really, really great. A great watch always. As soon as his videos go up, I watch them straight away. And in some of his more later videos, or across the board really, he provides great inspiration on getting out there, making ordinary things look great, making amazing things look great. And on that note, I just had a couple of recommendations. I had to scroll through his channel, and it was pretty much impossible to pick some of my favourite videos. Even some of his day-to-day vlogs are great. But if you are going to go over there, I would advise you to check out Art Over Comfort, which was a fantastic video he made in the Lofoten Islands in Norway, and I've actually been there myself. They're the most surreal place I've ever been to, and he made an incredible video and captured them really, really nicely. He also made a video called Break the Habit, which I think holds fantastic creativity in how he made it, but also some motivation around sort of how you look at life. And then he more recently, I think it was about a year ago, made one called The Bucket Shop, which was a bit of a short documentary, but it was a really great watch and it's beautifully made, so I highly recommend that. Go and check out Peter McKinnon. You definitely won't regret it, only in the fact you're probably going to spend the next week on YouTube. I really hope that you've enjoyed this video. I've absolutely loved making it, and it was super fun to look through all of the people that I follow, books I read, podcasts, and the YouTube channels. I'm going to be making another one and updating this as I go along, so stay tuned. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to stay notified for my latest videos. And if you do have any recommendations for me, I'd love to hear about them, so drop me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Wow, 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 wow.